Right now, Baldur's Gate 3 is all the rage. And it's all the rage for good reason. Everyone who's playing it on PC is saying it's one of the best RPGs ever made, yada yada. There's another story I want to cover today. I'm very confused about something. I want to know about Baldur's Gate 3, and I think you guys are going to know way more than I do. It's one of the highest rated games ever. Everyone playing it is saying they absolutely love it. Alright? Had super duper high amount of concurrent players. Not the most played, but one of the highest, most concurrent played games ever on Steam. Alright? It's doing really well. I'm glad to hear this. Now, how hyped this game has gotten because people just keep saying so many good things about it, it better be good. It better not be a case where all of you wanted to hype and you all got, completely fooled for a game that's maybe good, but not necessarily best in class. Everyone's saying this is best in class, you better fucking show me why. Not kiss the game's butt for 4 months and then when I play it, oh, you see, well, you don't like it because you didn't play it 4 months ago. No, a good game is good forever.
You know, it's actually when somebody starts a gameplay, let's say of a brand new game, maybe such as Baldur's Gate 3, RoboCop, maybe they might play one of the older games such as Spider-Man or Spider-Man 2, D&D, whichever. That person will do whatever they can to make that live stream very fun, entertaining, and enjoyable. However, in DSP's case, pretty much all his gameplays are extremely boring, and he will brute force his way through the game. However, there's a certain game he's been playing these past couple of streams, and it's been a train wreck, but it's been a very funny train wreck. And you're probably wondering, well, Vanguard, which video game Bill has been playing? Well, let me show you, and let's get into the video, shall we? And of course, we're going with my boy Duty. Duty, please give us another one of these best moments of DSP.
That money, I really, really do. I need that money. I really need that money. Really need that money. I need that money. I really, really do. I need that money. I really need that money. Really need that money. Really, that money. That money. Chat. It was a good day for that, But today, we're back on track with Baldur's Gate 3, which obviously it's going to be interesting to see how day 2 goes, because here's the thing.
Yes. For those who did not see Phil's previous gameplay of Baldur's Gate 3, here, let me show you a couple of the clips from that stream.
Unrecognizable at first, but then you spy an empty socket.
Okay. So I need to find something to put into that socket, obviously.
Whatever fits in that socket was promised.
I want to help you. I gotta figure this out. What's this? A nautiloid tank? What the hell did that do? Ew. The goal says reach the transponder before the nautiloid crashes. 15 turns remaining. What do you guys think? Where should I move my camera? Up here? Like that? Okay. And by the way, my wife is arriving home, so I need to get Jasper Kitty out of here. If you guys, so it sounds like Shadowheart is a cleric. So what would her abilities be? She's got Shield of Faith, protect a creature from attacks and increase its armor class by 2. So it's a defense buff spell. She's got a healing spell. Guiding Bolt. The next attack roll against this target has advantage. Sounds like it just higher, like better accuracy or better critical chance for a teammate or something like that, right? Inflict wounds. Putrefy a creature with a necrotic energy filling your hands. Okay, so is that good? Right? Resistance. Make a target more resistant to spell effects. It's a buff. Guidance. The target gains a bonus to ability checks. Sacred Flame. Engulf a target in flame-like radiance. Wait, is that damage? It's damage. So that's an attack spell.
And as you can see, it was pretty much a train wreck. He tried to brute force his way through that, but it was hilarious. And matter of fact, his first stream, it took him a whole hour to get out of the tutorial level. Now, mind you guys and gals, I have never played this game, although from my understanding, the tutorial level should only take you 10 minutes, yet Phil took a whole hour with that. I mean, it amazes me how he'll take any game and just ruin it. However, in this game, you cannot brute force your way through it. Phil loves doing that. But it's just so pathetic. Just continue. You'll see what I mean.
With all the hype behind this game and everyone asking me to play it for 4 months, and then finally on Monday I got around to it. We had record views. Like, I actually looked at my statistics for this year, and I think overall I had more viewers at one time on Monday than any stream I did all year. But at the same time, I had more viewers overall on other streams. Like, for example, the day...
Phil, the reason why you had, let's see, if I remember clearly, 1,000 views, well, it was like 1,000 to almost 1,200 viewers on Monday is because they wanted to see how badly you was going to suck at Baldur's Gate 3, and you did not disappoint. It was hilarious. Matter of fact, I remember also in that stream later on, he, I believe, wiped 2 times in a side mission, I want to say. I'll post clips that around this mark.
It just...
How delicious.
And I mean, it was so bad that people would try. His chat was trying to tell him, "Do this, Phil. Use this power to help with this," and he wasn't listening. He was still being hard-headed and pig-headed. It made for such a glorious stream, ladies and gentlemen. It was so good.
Had the situation with the Comcast internet, when the person who was working for Comcast was a troll and he kept turning my internet off during the stream. On that day, we actually had more overall.
No, you didn't. You had somewhere between like 300 to 400, and I'm gonna address that one more time. The part that you're leaving out, Phil, is you brought another modem on Amazon. You did not give Comcast that serial number. That's why your internet was totally messed up. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, I'll send a link. Show you a link, or should I say it down in the description of my other video where I cover that one from this little pathetic liar.
As for hype for day one of any video game, yeah, Monday was the biggest day of the year. We had at one point 1,400 plus viewers, right? We had a ton of engagement. I think it was like over 400 likes on that stream. Obviously, a ridiculous amount of support. You know, everything. Gifted memberships, super chats, tips. Everything was wild. And obviously, I'm very appreciative.
Yeah, he got a lot of money that way between the tips, the super chats, and all. I believe he made somewhere between 600 to 700 bucks. You know, it did drive me nuts. It's like, why are you giving this man money before the stream even started? You should be giving him money while he's streaming, and even still, it should be optional, not while he's begging, which is one thing he's very known for.
For that, thank you so very much, obviously, for a very great start. Now, the true test of any game is not its premiere stream. It is how it has longevity. Yes, there was the gimmick of wanting to see me play Baldur's Gate 3 for the very first time, but that was just a stream of me creating my character and essentially getting into the intro of the game. I mean, we didn't even really do a real fight. I got into one real fight, and then the game essentially not only killed me after the fight, but then crashed, and I had to restart everything.
Phil, the reason why it took you so long in the menus, you kept BSing. It should take you no more than tops, maybe 7 minutes to create your character. That's why it took you so long with that, Phil.
We got to do the whole fight over, right? So really, as of today, this will be the first stream where I'm actually getting into the real game. And this will be an interesting test for a couple of reasons. Number one, once I have a full party, a real party, and I'm using them in combat and various things in the game, will I like it, right? Right now, I can tell you, my initial impressions are, the combat is incredibly similar to Divinity Original Sin 2. It feels almost the same. Yeah, there's a few other things in there that make it very...
It's a turn-based style game, Phil. It's not a real time, okay? The problem is, like I said before, you prefer games that hold your hand, games that you could brute force your way. And in Baldur's Gate 3, you cannot do that. You have to understand mechanics. You have to learn how to play the style, which, and I believe you created a mage, whatever. So you should understand how to play that style. Also, when it came to the dice, which is pretty much RNG, which I'm not a big fan of, you got lucky sometimes, and other times you got real unlucky. And that's something I know you did not like.
Different, but it doesn't feel like a totally new game. It feels like that same exact formula, just with an IP attached to it in Dungeons and Dragons. So we'll see. Will the game differentiate itself enough to really feel like it's a standout for me? Or is this really just going to feel like, okay, I'm playing Divinity 2 with a skin and some variations? I'll tell you this, though.
If you give the game a chance, you'll see how it stands out. Believe me, this game is different. It's unique in its own way. It may have some mechanics might be similar to Divinity or D&D, or maybe one or two things not in other games, such as maybe Mass Effect storytelling. But regardless or not, Phil, this game is unique. There's a reason why it won Game of the Year.
I like the graphics. I like the cutscenes. You know what I mean? Like, that's all good stuff. It's high production value, much higher production value than Divinity was. That's a good thing. But, you know, am I going to learn enough about the game to really enjoy it and be able to coast with it? Will people help me to understand the game, which I'm probably going to need, right? We'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Phil, stop asking your chat to hold your hand. You have to learn the game on your own. You got to understand the mechanics of the game. How you do that? By getting your ass kicked in the game. That's how you learn. That's how you do things different. That's how you become a better player. But you don't like doing that, Phil. Again, you love your chat holding your hand, talk about how you do this and that within any game.
Now, the other test, very simply, is will people actually show up, engage, and support this game past its premiere? Because the gimmick of seeing me play Game of the Year after resisting playing it for 4 months is over already. We already saw me play it for 3 hours. Those initial videos are out, and people have seen them if they wanted to see them. For 2 days, they've been live. And now, will people come back? That is the true question.
Phil, you had an opportunity on Tuesday to stream the game again. No, what you decided to stream was RoboCop, which you should be wrapping that game up. From what I understand, that game is no more than 12 to 16 hours, and you already had like 10 hours in, something like that. If you would stop doing so much of the side missions and just focus on the main story, you'll get done much faster. Or if you want to do the side missions, do it off screen, because that'll be the best thing to do. Matter of fact, a crab named Hella did that with Final Fantasy 16. He just mainly focused on the main story on screen, and off screen he did the side missions to, get, further level himself up. You should do something like that, Phil.
The thing, that's kind of what happens with certain games, and in particular with a game like this, being that it's a lengthy, drawn-out, slow-paced, turn-based RPG. I know for a fact that typically these kind of games do not resonate with my audience, and that's a shame because I love them. Like, I love turn-based RPGs. I've played so many of them over the years. I grew up playing them in the 1990s. I absolutely had so much fun with RPGs in my lifetime. They're definitely one.
I can think of 2 RPGs you did not like. One of them was, I believe, Zelda, The Tears of the Kingdom, I want to say. You didn't like that game. And another game that you actually rage quit years ago was Knights of the Old Republic. I'm not talking about Star Wars The Old Republic, the MMO. I'm talking about Knights of the Old Republic, the first Star Wars game that BioWare made that was an RPG. And you claim that that game was very difficult. No, it wasn't, Phil. I played that game myself. It was not that difficult. Yeah, did I get my ass handed to me? Of course. But it was fun. It was exciting. The story was great. You never gave it a chance, Phil.
Genres. But every time that I play an RPG, I always see declined viewership, declined engagement, and declined support, and people saying, oh, it's just not interesting.
That's not the problem. The game is not the problem. The problem is, again, when it comes to your gameplays, your live streams, you're incredibly boring. You don't do anything to entertain your audience. You literally just sit there and go, oh, well, what does this do? Yeah, oh, look at that. That's all you do. You don't sit there and say, hey guys, this is actually pretty good. You guys enjoying this, whatever? Now you do none of that. And also throughout majority of your live stream, you go look at your chat, you're begging, somebody says the wrong thing, you ban them. That's all you do, Phil.
There's definitely a disconnect between myself and my core audience where not everyone likes RPGs. Luckily, that's not the entire audience. There is a group of my viewers that do like RPGs just like me. It's just a smaller group.
To translate that, ladies and gentlemen, what he means is there's a small group of people that are They instead just love giving him money at his beck and call. That's what he really means.
Playing a game like this, you know what I'm saying? It's a question of, will people actually show up, or will they just say, hey, I love the game, tuned into your premiere stream, and now all of a sudden dramatic drop off, right? Do you really think we're going to get 1,400 viewers today? Already, take a look at today's podcast.
No, I seen his second stream of Baldur's Gate 3. He didn't get up to 1,000. He only got up to maybe what, 800, maybe 850 at the most. And that was to be expected because people wanted to do other things. They didn't want to sit through and watch another live stream of Baldur's Gate. However, your boy did, and it was pretty hilarious.
Right now we're at 400 viewers. We had over 1,000 for Monday. Why? I was just talking about topics and things that had nothing to do with Baldur's Gate. But people were so hyped for Baldur's Gate, we had over 1,000 viewers that day, right? So I'm very curious to see. Now here's the thing again. I'm not asking for that. I'm not demanding anything. I don't have quotas. I don't have a checklist. We must have this. We must have this. We must have this. I'm not doing that.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. You give hints of, oh, you got this checklist, you got these people come out, you gotta give me this, you gotta give me that. You do, Phil. You do it in all your streams. You did it even Baldur's Gate 3, but you don't say it outright. You say it in very lentil hits, or better, as we detractors like to call it, you like to talk it in the pignosis.
Judge game playthroughs based on a certain criteria. Number one, am I enjoying the game? Or at least am I in a situation where I feel like I'm making progress towards understanding and learning it better, that I will eventually enjoy it? Okay.
Let me translate those two things to the first one. He does not enjoy the game. If you watch majority of his live streams, he looks so bored. And there's been quite a few times during the cutscenes in Baldur's Gate 3, he had his hand in his head in his face, pretty much facepalm, whatever, or just having like he literally sat there like he was bored, ladies and gentlemen. And secondly, when it comes to the gameplay style and mechanics, he does not retain them. He doesn't understand them. He pretty much asked his chat to hold his hand throughout the whole game.
Number two, is the audience enjoying the game? Are they watching and enjoying my experience with it? Either you're actually having fun watching me enjoy it myself, or maybe you're actually laughing at me, raging at it, and sucking at it. Because
actually, you're right about that, Phil. We do be laughing when you be raging and sucking at it. And secondly, the people that actually do want to enjoy the game, they don't really watch your streams. They watch it through other people, such as MK Fire and Ice, or they'll watch the, let's say, when Klutzy King live streams. Then they enjoy watching to that. But other than that, Phil, no, we watch it for the moments where you rage, you bitch, whatever, and the moments where you ban people as well.
those can equally be entertaining experiences, but overall, I want the audience to be engaged. And that is a good judgment of how much the audience is enjoying the game. If I'm playing a video game and everyone in the chat is talking about the game and talking about my experience with it, and when I get to a part that I don't understand, they help me. Here's how this works and this and that. That's awesome. That's signs of engagement, positivity.
Again, I'll translate what he means by that. He's hoping his audience is only talking about the game and nothing else. There's been plenty of times in other live streams where people decide they wanted to talk amongst themselves, talk about, let's say, sports, music, whatever. He's called them out and say, do not talk about that, focus on the game. And that's his biggest problem. He doesn't like his chat to be, have freedom to talk. They have to be strictly talk about the game only. And he begs them to help him out through so many parts of said game. He just did it in Baldur's Gate 3. He did it in RoboCop 3 RoboCop Rogue City as well. This is what he's really known for. And the other thing he does off screen that he doesn't like to tell people, he does watch a guide and all that stuff, whatever. But the problem is, he can't seem to maintain what to do at this certain part.
Enjoyment, right? If I'm playing a game and I look at the chat and literally the entire chat has ventured off in another direction and they're talking about other unrelated topics that have nothing to do with me or anything that's going on the stream, what's the point of even being there? You might as well just have your own chat room somewhere else having the same conversations.
Case in point right here, what he just said. Literally, he's just telling everybody, if you're not talking about the game, then you're wasting my time. That's pretty much how Phil likes it. And that's pretty much being a dictator.
That's a judgment of the success of the game, all right? And then, of course, yes, matter-of-factly, this is both my hobby and my job. This is a business that I own. Support is a key factor.
First and foremost, you don't own YouTube. You're on a platform for YouTube. YouTube actually doesn't own you shit, okay? They don't owe you nothing. You have to do stuff that they want, Phil, so let's get that out of the way, okay? Secondly, if this is such a business, you're doing a piss poor job at it. Duty has pretty much given out the reasons why you're so pathetic, and I might, you know what, let me play one of Duty's portion where he talks about Phil's business right here.
This week, the tips were not as good as last week. Now, if you take a look at the super chats for this week, Phil managed to make $390, which he made more than he usually makes, compared to what he pulled in last week, which was $196. So again, Phil is following this pattern of stealing from Peter to pay Paul. There's no new money here.
And as you can see right there, pretty much, Duty does a fantastic job of breaking it down. And please continue to support my man. This is the reason why your boy here, Vanguard, has been able to do videos thanks to this brother.
If I'm playing a game and it's getting little to no support at all, that's a factor in judging whether or not, people are liking it and how long I'm going to continue with it. However, since I'm a variety streamer, and this is a key factor that makes me different from a lot of other people, I juggle a lot of variations, I juggle a lot of genres of gaming, and because of that, I have the ability to play games that maybe traditionally will bring in more engagement and support, and as long as those streams do good, it doesn't matter if another stream is slow. So a perfect example of this, right? Yesterday...
Phil. You call yourself a variety streamer? No, you're not variety. The only thing you do is you switch a game up if you think people are going to give you money for this game. That's why you do it so many times. And in the past, when it comes to other games, if it was not giving you the money that you're looking for, you rage quit and put it into the ban world. That's what you have literally done, Phil. So that's another thing. Like, come on, man. Stop BS and stop telling these little lies. Tell the truth. Majority of the times, if the game is not giving you the money that you hope for, you don't bother playing no more. You put it down. Like, this guy. Anyways, let's continue.
Dragon Gaiden. This is a game that I absolutely love. I call it my late night chill stream. Why? Because this game has so much side content in it and a lot of open world roaming and combat that I can interact with my audience a ton. We can have fun conversations. We can relax. It's not a serious playthrough where it's always narrative-based progress. I absolutely love the Like a Dragon games. They're very relaxing for me. They basically break up all my other content.
And right there, ladies and gentlemen, look at his chat to see if somebody's talking trash about him or criticizing him. He's looking to ban him. But anyways, getting back to Like a Dragon, the game is not bad, but Phil makes it boring. He finds ways of ruining a decent game, and I'm not gonna bother showing the clips of that because it's just horrible. But anyways, let's continue.
However, that being said, it doesn't really get much support. Just being honest, it doesn't. It's a very slow stream in that regard. But because my other streams do well, they balance everything out, and they allow me then to enjoy a game like that. You see what I'm saying? So there's all...
The reason why your other streams balance out is because you beg almost 3 to 4... Almost I want to say 3 to 5 minutes in just about every live stream. You beg constantly. If one live stream you make, let's say 200, the next one you're begging to make 300, and the next one you're begging to make 400, 500. That's what you do, Phil. You just constantly keep begging. And I'm actually happy when you make no money, because you need to realize support isn't about money, but support is watching the video and enjoying it, and optionally give money if they want to, Phil.
Factors that come into play. I'm very curious to see how Baldur's Gate 3 will do. All right? I'm not saying that this game is on the chopping block. It's not. Some people are like that. Oh my god, so are you saying that today, if you don't have the same performance...
Here, let me pose exactly what Phil said about that.
Reality. It doesn't matter if you live in your PC bubble and all you do is play PC games, so that's all you hear about. That's not reality. Baldur's Gate 3 could literally be the best game of the decade, and it's still not going to get as much attention as a game like Starfield. Okay? You have to understand this. All right? So when I hear things like, oh, it was unfair that Xbox wasn't getting Baldur's Gate 3, but PlayStation is, you don't understand something. In 1 week's time, no one will be talking about Baldur's Gate 3 in the mainstream gaming media. It will as if the game never existed. Because all you're going to hear is Starfield, 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 and then Lies of P, Mortal Kombat, and then when October hits, all those new releases that are consoles. You're not going to hear Baldur's Gate 3 whispered once. You may hear it at the end of the year as a Game of the Year contender, and it will not win Game of the Year.
Here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen. If you ever do if you were ever do vids on Phil, make sure you clip the things he said the previous streams before, because he seems to have a bad habit at forgetting or selective memory. Either way, it's still very pathetic on his case.
Monday that you're going to drop the game. No, I never said that at all. People are just dramatic and say dumb shit because they make stuff up to try to be dramatic when that's not the case. All right? What I want is I would like this game to fall into my schedule as a regular game that's enjoyable, fun, and has a regular audience. I'm nervous about that. Why? Because I play...
Whenever you say something,
Please clap.
whenever you say something that pisses people off, that's when they go after you, Phil. Whenever you make those shitty little hot takes about people, or about anything and everyone, that's when people come after you. Whether it be out of malicious intent or not, they're still going to come after you. And you don't like it when people talk negatively about you because it ruins your reputation. But Phil, you're the only person on this fucking planet that ruined their own reputation.
Original Sin 2. And it's a very similar situation to this, where people had asked me to try Divinity for like a year. All right? And after listening to everyone's demands, because that's exactly what it was. Everyone was demanding, play this game, play this game, play this game. All right, fine. We'll play the game. I played it. And at first, there was interest. And then after like a week, the interest waned. But I kept playing it. And then after like 2 weeks, people started asking me, wow, this game really isn't, your cup of tea. It's not very entertaining to watch you play. Are you going to keep going? Yes,
Let me translate that as well, ladies and gentlemen. What he means is he did not like that game. All he had to do was tell shit, hey guys, I'm not interested in that game. This just doesn't suit my needs. Whatever. He could have kept it moving. He could have told him that. No, he kept dodging until finally he played a Divinity, hoping that will bring in the money that he was hoping for, and it did not. And he ended up putting that game to the wayside.
I kept going. I played that game for 60 hours. The entire final 20 hours of my playthrough, I actually was playing it against most people's recommendations. There were people actually asking me not to play it anymore because they were bored with it. But I said, no, I want to tough it out and keep going. And then when I hit 60 hours, people were like, so just so you know, you're halfway in. You still got another 60 hours to go. And I was like, well, my attendance is terrible. No one is paying any attention to the game anymore.
I'm not going to repeat myself again, but I'm just going to say this. Phil, the reason why is you do nothing to make it entertaining. You're not that much different. You're just a very boring streamer.
Did. And that was a shame. That was like 60 hours. I feel like it's a waste. At least I got the experience of knowing what that franchise was and knowing that it just doesn't work for my style of content creation because I'm a variety streamer. I'm not going to sit here and play the same game 5 days in a row and play 20 hours of it. I only play it on and off, maybe every other day, in a given...
That's your problem right there. When you start, any streamer that starts a game, they want their audience wants them to finish that game in that set point in time. The problem with you, Phil, is, let's say, for example, we'll use Baldur's Gate. You played it Monday. You played it yesterday, which was Wednesday, and now you plan to play it on Friday. Again, you're not playing consistently, Phil, because Tuesday you end up playing RoboCop, and you should have been wrapped that game up. But again, you stretched out because again you're trying to force your dents to give money, and it's just appalling to me that you even do that.
5 to 10 hours of game, which is good, but it's just not enough to retain that level of engagement and interest for a game that's that immersive and needs that much attention. So I knew it wasn't working. I knew it wasn't going to work, and I ended up never playing it again, So already seeing how Divinity has happened, right, how that worked, I am very skeptical about Baldur's Gate 2. But again, I want you to understand.
Wait, what? What are you saying? Let's back it up again, ladies and gentlemen.
I am very skeptical about Baldur's Gate 2.
Wait. You are skeptical. Pretty much what you said. He's unsure of Baldur's Gate 2. Phil, it's Baldur's Gate 3 you're playing. Baldur's Gate 2 came out years ago. How do you not even catch yourself saying the wrong title, you idiot? This guy.
But again, I want you to understand that I'm not, I'm absolutely not going to be judging this game unfairly. I'm going to approach it with a positive.
Phil, you already did that. You sit back in, what was it? Not October, back in August, you was pretty much saying that Baldur's Gate 3 is going to die out and Starfield was going to end up being the Baldur's Gate 3 killer. It did not. Mind you, I do like Starfield. I still play that game. But it was not Baldur's Gate 3 killer. It wasn't a Baldur's Gate 3 killer. Matter of fact, Starfield did not win one single award. It wasn't even nominated, Phil. I mean, come on. I mean, Jesus Christ. This guy. I swear, ladies and gentlemen. But anyways, let's continue.
Like I did that first stream. I just want to see how it does. I want to see if it's good. So far, it's all right. I'm not in love with it, but I don't hate it. I like certain things about it. All right, we'll see as I continue on. I feel like the learning curve for me is learning all the nuances, right? If you want to light something on fire, you have to target the floor. If you want to do this, you got to do it this way and that way. This is how this works. This is how this stat works. This is, you know what I mean? It's going to take a while. It's a lot of learning to figure that stuff out.
Yes, again, Phil, it's an RPG. It's not here to hold your hand. You have to learn how to play the game. I'm not going to repeat myself again with this. Continue, please.
Style of game that I'm just not used to. Once I get used to those things, maybe it'll be more smooth and more interesting and feel more organic. Right now, I absolutely feel like I'm just completely absorbed. Just to give you some perspective here, all right? Since Monday's stream of Baldur's Gate 3, There's been dozens of people who've left comments on the videos, adding information in about the game, the combat, the lore. I've had multiple people sending me DMs, emails, everything about this game. I'm like, whoa, 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 whoa. I played 3 hours. The intro. I'm in the intro, right? You're bombarding me with, like, decades of knowledge about D&D and stuff, and I get it. People are excited. I like.
That's because they're trying to give you pretty much give you the background, the lore of the game. They're trying to help you out so you actually can be more in tune and know what this does, what this character is, and stuff like that. How do you not see that, Phil? I mean, goodness gracious, it's already bad enough that you're trying to brute force your way through the game and not properly learn it.
That is the essence of engagement, is that people are excited to see me, for the first time ever, jump into this universe. Okay? I like that people are that excited for it. But at the same time, man, that's like it's information overload. And I hope people understand that no, just because you sent me a bunch of stuff or you made a post and a comment on my video, I'm not going to absorb all of that immediately. It's going to be a slow process of learning the game over the course of several streams, with you guys interacting and engaging with me during said streams, while I also maintain everything else around here. Like I said, I'm not just playing Baldur's Gate 3. I'm also still playing RoboCop. I'm still playing...
Yeah, he's still playing RoboCop, ladies and gentlemen. He should have been finished for that game, but continue on, Phil.
I'm still playing fighting games. I'm still playing Modern Warfare 3. I still have React.
Why don't you drop Modern Warfare? People are not interested in playing that. He wants you to play that game, Phil. They don't want you playing pretty much Street Fighter unless it's just only Friday, Phil. Focus on Baldur's Gate 3. Wrap up RoboCop on Saturday. Get that out of the way and just strictly focus on Baldur's Gate 3. You'll have plenty of time to play the game. But for some strange reason, you came up with the pathetic excuse in January where you literally said that you're going to put Baldur's Gate 3 to the side because pretty much you're not going to have time because you have other games you want to play in that month.
I still have holiday stuff that I'm working on and planning. I still got my life behind the scenes. My life is not Baldur's Gate 3 right now.
What the heck do you do? Phil, here's the thing. You stream 16 hours a day, 6 days a week. You don't do nothing else. It's not like, again, it's not like you have business meetings with, let's say, Phil Spencer or Jim Ryan. It's not like you have business meetings with them, Phil. You do nothing. You're at home all day. The only person in your household that does have a job is Kat. And even though I still believe she's been left the coop, but you don't want to admit that. But regardless, you don't do nothing else outside of this, Phil. Other than pretty much bitching and complaining on Twitter, which I've seen you done plenty of times. Surprised you haven't banned me there yet. Even though I know it's going to happen soon enough.
A lot of people, it seems like that's exactly how this is. When you're playing Baldur's Gate 3, that's life for you for like a month. No, not for me. I got everything else going on too. I'm happy to jump into it and explore it and enjoy it at the pace of playing it on the stream, if you understand. All right? Just like yesterday, when I addressed the elephant in the room, that people were yelling at me that I didn't change my entire schedule to just keep playing Baldur's Gate 3 because the first...
Again, Phil, they wanted you to focus on Baldur's Gate 3 because you kept saying you're not going to have time to play it in January. So they tell you just forget about finish up RoboCop, forget about Modern Warfare 3, play Street Fighter on Fridays. That's what they was trying to tell you, Phil. Even I was saying the same thing. Focus on Baldur's Gate 3 so at the end of the month you can be finished with it so that way you have time to play the other games, Phil.
So well, and I was like, that's not how you maintain a successful business or following on the internet. Just because something is popular today doesn't mean it's going to be popular tomorrow. Eventually the gimmick's going to wear out. You don't disappoint everyone else.
You've been a complete disappointment since the day you started on YouTube, so let's get that out of the way.
Working with for how many years? 15? Just to drop everything at a moment's notice because one game is being popular for now. Like, that's ridiculous. I'd piss off so many people if I did that.
You piss off people in general just of your attitude and how arrogant you can get. You did that quite a few times in Baldur's Gate. You did it quite a few times in RoboCop. You did it so many times in Street Fighter 6, Phil.
Creator. But a lot of people don't get that. Well, you're playing the popular game. Every other content creator would just drop everything and just play the popular game nonstop. Well, that's because that's them and I'm me, and I'm very different from them. How people haven't figured that out in 15 years, I don't know.
No, the fact of it is, how come you haven't figured out on how to be a better content creator in 15 years boggles my mind. Because it said you started around the same time PewDiePie, Keemstar, Mr. Beast, and we've seen how successful they have been and become since then. You still are stuck at this low level, Phil, and you're doing whatever you can to keep yourself at level 1. You're not trying anything to move past it, Phil.
Understand that. But anyway, I'm excited. Let's see how today goes. Certainly, like I said, I don't believe today is going to be anywhere near as crazy hype as Monday was. But if we can have a solid stream of people hanging out, enjoying, engaging, trying to help me with the game to understand it, you know, and it's just a good stream overall, then I don't mind having this part of my rotation for the long term. I am planning on that. Like, just so you guys know, that's essentially what I'm kind of planning on. I want to have this be a part of my streams for the next month or so, until big new releases start coming out in January.
Oh, goodness gracious. The only way it's going to stay is if people are to give you money. And these past 2 streams, they gave you a lot of money still, just to keep the gameplay going. You actually, if I'm not mistaken, the second stream, you actually reached the hack goals. Matter of fact, you did, because you wore a damn Viking hat, which was so ridiculous. You look like an absolute clown with that on.
And I'm okay with that. You know what I mean? Like when.
And look right here, ladies and gentlemen, he's pretty much banning somebody, or he's put them time out because either they crack a joke or they'll criticize him, which he doesn't like neither one.
If we need to play this less or put this on the back burner so that I can play new games, that's fine, and then we can always come back to it. It is a lengthy RPG. It's not going anywhere, right? I'm excited to see where my journey will lead in the next month, and that hopefully you guys will.
The only way that game will come back is if Phil's getting the money that he's hoping for. In other words, if each stream is giving him somewhere between, in tips, I'm going to just say in tips alone, let's say somewhere between 100, 150 per stream, then he'll keep it around. But if it doesn't get anywhere close to that, he'll drop it and put it into the band world.
Join me for that journey. And, you know, maybe, the way I see it, there's 3 outcomes. Outcome number 1, sadly, this just becomes another Divinity 2. Where we play it for a while and it ends up being not my cup of tea, not your cup of tea, and everyone says stop playing it, and I do. And then it's kind of.
Once again, the only time that happens is if you're not enjoying the game. And you're really not enjoying Baldur's Gate 3 because it brings a challenge, just like everybody always tell you it's going to be. And instead of saying, you know what, let me enjoy the challenge, you're like, no, I'm only going to play this game as long as I'm getting money. If I don't get the money that I'm looking for, I'm going to drop the game. That's what you say in your own mind, Phil.
Experiment. I would hope that's not the case, okay? Number 2, it could be the complete polar opposite. I end up being a fan of this style of game, and you guys love the playthrough so much that this now maybe changes all of my content, and this becomes something that I would want to adopt and play. For example, games like the Persona franchise, games like the Yakuza, or like a Dragon.
If I'm not mistaken, Persona, was it the remake? I could be wrong. I'll have to look back at that. Anyways, you actually played up until the last boss, and you rage quit that game completely.
Those are games I never even knew existed. You guys convinced me to try them. At first, I was hesitant. When I finally tried them, I was like, oh my god. They turned out really well and have now become a staple part of my content all the time. And I'm very happy whenever a new one of those games come out. Maybe that'll.
To translate that, what he means by a staplement, in other words, it's giving him the money that he's looking for. In other words, somewhere between 100 to 200, and in some cases 300 per stream. Then yes, he'll keep it around. But if it doesn't, if it doesn't reach those numbers, off to the band world, just like the other 30, 50 plus games that he rage quit.
Right? Or maybe we'll land somewhere in the middle, where the game's good, but it's not my favorite, but at the same time it's good. It's something great that you guys enjoy, and maybe every once in a while, you know, it'll be good. You know, I that's what I see. Like, I think that it'll land somewhere in the middle. All right. If
There's no middle ground for you, Phil. It's either A, gives me the money that I'm looking for, or B, doesn't ban well. There's no middle ground with you, Mr. Liar.
Okay, I don't have these crazy aspirations that this will be my biggest playthrough of all time, and people will absolutely be in love with this playthrough every moment.
There's been other games where you thought you was going to have this high expectation, and it did not reach what you was looking for, Phil. Good God, can you stop lying at this point?
I'm not going into it negatively with the intention that, oh, I can't wait to just stop playing it. That's ridiculous. You know, every game I play, I hope for the best. I want it to be something good. I want it to be something.
You literally took a shit on Tears of the Kingdom. You took a shit on Final Fantasy 16. So yes, you did. Why are you lying this so much, dude? Why are you lying? Just stop lying. There's some games you just did not like whatsoever. People asked you to play these games specifically, and you pretty much said, yeah, I'm gonna play them as long as you give me money. That's what you did, Phil.
And entertaining for all of us, right? So, and by the way, I don't get it. I'm trying to be as reasonable and matter of fact with people, and there's people complaining in the chat, so just leave. Seriously. If you just want to, just leave. If you have an issue with the way that I do streams, with the way that I make content, why are you here?
You abandon people not because they're taking a shit on you. They're trying to critique you. They're trying to make you be a better content maker. Excuse me, not player. Well, if you want to say stream as a streamline player, whatever. But that's what they're trying to do, Phil. But again, you take it as if it's an attack on you. You want to continue being the fucking victim, and it's just so ridiculous, Phil. Why do you want to be the victim? Why? it pretty much makes you a everyday bitch instead of being, you know what, I want to be a warrior, I want to be a king, not the king of hate, but an actual king who's thriving, doing better, and you have not done none of that. You're still stuck at what, 200k subs? I mean, 200k subs. You've been stuck at that for the past, what, 5 years already? You've done nothing to improve, Phil. And guess what? Starting next year, YouTube's actually going to yeet subscribers with dead channels, Phil. So that count is going to dip. I'm pretty sure it's going to dip somewhere between, like, you might have after that maybe what, 190k subs at that point, Phil? Maybe less than that. We'll find out in January.
Do you think that I'm going to just completely change my business for you because you want to see Baldur's Gate 3 constantly? Do you think, hold on, should I pull down Larian's pants and start kissing their butt cheeks? And
Yeah, wasn't it a couple weeks ago you was kissing YouTube's butt about being a chill for YouTube Premium? Remember that?
made because I played 3 hours of it? Like, what are you expecting exactly? Seriously. I just don't get it. I don't get, you can't please people. Last night, I'm playing Like a Dragon Gaiden. Okay? Now, you guys have seen my first stream of Baldur's Gate 3, correct? You've seen the first 3 hours. You've seen everything that happened during it. I thought it was a pretty good stream. I thought it was funny. That ending was hilarious, right? The comedy of errors, the game crashing. It was really funny. Someone tipped me $5. And then during the tip, here's what they said. I'm not kidding you.
This is what he does, ladies and gentlemen. During his podcast, he's looking at his chat. He's hoping either his chat's giving him money right now, or again, somebody's critiquing him or cracking a joke. He's pretty much getting ready to ban him, as right here, once again. This is what, maybe his second or third time banning somebody in this video as it is.
All right, I'm not going to read it word for word, but I'm going to paraphrase. So I just want you to let you know, I'm a new viewer that came by to watch your Baldur's Gate 3 playthrough. Well, I feel like you're treating the game unfairly because you're treating it very differently and to a higher standard than all other games that you play. Therefore, I just wanted to let you know I appreciate your first stream, so here's a $5 tip, but you've lost a viewer. Goodbye.
That person was just giving you some constructive criticism. And the fact he says the person said goodbye, I doubt that. He said it himself, paraphrase. I doubt that, Phil. I'm pretty much sure that they would tell you, hey, this is how you're supposed to play this game this way. I'm just trying to help you out. And again, Phil, you like to turn around as if this person's attacking you.
Anywhere in my first stream did I judge the game unfairly? Did I ever say, wow, this game's unfair, this game sucks, this game is terrible, this, you know, what is he talking?
Phil, you did that back in August when the game was starting to come out. You literally took a shit on that. Matter of fact, here, let me show you, let me show you that one right here.
I really, really, really find it hard to believe that Baldur's Gate 3 would ever win a Game of the Year. It's a PC-centric game. And it's like people said, well, it's going to come out on PS5. Oh, but it's coming out on Xbox. No one's going to talk about it. There's other games already coming out that will have all the hype by then. The only way Baldur's Gate 3 was going to get mainstream appeal is if it was all platforms at once in the middle of the summer, then maybe. But it's too late. By the time it comes out on PS5, Xbox, people have moved on and they're playing other games.
Like I said before, when you do vids on DSP, make sure you clip these moments because, again, he likes to play selective memory, in my opinion.
Or she, I don't know, it was an anonymous tip. What the hell are they talking about? But you understand, like, seriously, just because I didn't decide to drop everything to play Baldur's Gate 3 nonstop, I guess that pisses people off. So because I operate a business, a successful business of variety, and I decided to add Baldur's Gate 3 into that schedule per your big requests. I've listened to them for 4 months and finally said now's the time it fits in. And I played a 3-hour stream and I didn't.
The only reason why it fit in is because people kept begging. And actually, matter of fact, somebody gifted you the damn game. You didn't buy it. Somebody gave you it out of their hard-earned money. And you should actually give thanks to that person. Did you do that? No.
Immediately decide to clear my entire business schedule to accommodate this game to be played nonstop. I'm being unfair to the game. No, what I think it is that there's just too many people who are so obsessed with this game that they just don't understand that other people aren't like them. I don't obsess over a game I play, right? I get it. It's an
You don't obsess over a game. Really? What about the fact that you're still playing Street Fighter, Phil? You're obsessed with that game? I mean, you just got Dalsim into Master, and I won't be surprised you put him to the wayside. Who you gonna bring who you gonna bring back into the tutorial next, Phil? Huh? Not Lily, let's say Kimberly? Ryu? You gonna bring them down to the tutorial level, Phil? I mean, good God almighty. The amount of lies you just keep spewing time after time again is unbelievable. You find new ways to top the stupidity you did the day before.
You want to be absorbed into the world and the lore and the gameplay mechanics. And maybe for you, that's what you do when you play a game, and that's fine. That's perfectly fine. I'm not even going to say that I've never done that before. I absolutely have. But that was before I was a streamer. That was before I was a creator. That was before I was making variety of stuff. You know, I'm not going to become...
Phil, back then, you wasn't doing much, and you still to this very day, you're not doing much. You don't do anything to separate your channel from everyone else, other than being the damn locale that you pretty much are. You do nothing to be different, unique, entertaining, and fun. The only reason why I find you funny is because of the stupid things you do and say, Phil.
One who's a one-minded gamer. I'm not the Baldur's Gate 3 streamer now for 3 weeks. So I have no idea where people come from with these kind of judgments and things that they say. You know, it seems like for some people, it doesn't matter at all how I act, what I play, what I do, okay? No matter what I do, people are going to be upset. It's never good enough, right?
Because, Phil, you do nothing make it worthwhile. You do nothing differently. You pretty much do the exact same thing every single gameplay. And I'm saying it slowly on purpose so you understand. Every game, every live stream, you look at the game, you look bored, you beg your audience for money, and rinse and repeat. Rinse and repeat. You do the exact same thing in every fucking gameplay. You do nothing different. I don't know how many times I gotta say that, Phil. I'm actually hurting my own head repeating the same words over and over and over. I don't know how else I can just get it through that thick skull of yours.
I'm going to cover the game how I like, how I'm comfortable. And if you're not comfortable with that, fair enough. Thanks for trying it. Move on. Please don't linger. If you're going to be here just to be negative and crap on stuff and say, Phil's playthrough sucks, Phil sucks, this and that.
Because it does, Phil. It really is. It's so boring. Matter of fact, your gameplay of Starfield was super boring that I actually had to tune into Oh No, It's Alex's stream just to stay awake because I was falling asleep at my chair, Phil. That's how boring you was. Or pretty much you still are.
You know, this is a different kind of stream community. It really is. It's always been that way. People don't seem to get that. That DSP Gaming is not every other YouTube channel, every other Twitch channel, every other streamer. The things that happen around here are quite different from what you're probably used to from other channels, right? Just take a quick look. Can you tell me another channel looks like this? Right?
Thank God nobody else's channel looks like that because, again, your setup is horrendous. Other than the Christmas theme, I get it, but you don't change it. You don't look. You don't try to stand out. You're just super boring, super cringe.
On purpose, minimalist, because I don't want intrusive stuff. Because I want things to be so different. You know, I want people to enjoy, sit back, relax, have a good time, but not have to be inundated with a bunch of crap. Right? That's one of the big things. That's different, and I hope you understand that. Like, if I was all about the money, which is hilariously what all my haters say, wouldn't I have immediately just played Baldur's Gate 3 all week after that first stream? I would have been doing it nonstop.
So first and foremost, none of us didn't realize you was gonna get all that money on the day one. We knew you was gonna get at least what, maybe 100, 150. We didn't expect you on day one to get almost, was it 600 bucks in one day? And again, Phil, you do obsess over money. Case in point, when you constantly beg, that's one part. You even, and the fact is you have tip tier goals and all this other stuff. That's another problem, Phil. Good God Almighty, man, you hurt my head too much, buddy. You just really hurt my head. What's that damn towel? I need to take it.
My actual longtime fans who want to see other games, instead I would have just been playing this all week trying to make a buck, and I'm not about that at all. Okay, so no, I'm not gonna sit here and I'm not gonna be hyper focused on just one game. That's not what it's about. I want to get into this game. I want to enjoy the lore. I want to start to understand the game mechanics, and I will in time as we play it. You know what I'm saying? The longer we get into it. And the thing is, if you look at my schedule, which we're just going to talk about, I'm playing it today, I'm playing it Friday, I'm playing it Monday, I'm playing it Wednesday. I'm playing it 4 times the next week. So we're going to have another additional, 12 or...
Just play that game pretty much on a daily basis until your day off. So that way you can get it out of the way.
This game within a week's time. That's a lot of gameplay coming up, right? We'll be very immersed in it by then, I feel. And that's great. So please just be patient, right? And please understand, I am not whoever it is that you think you're holding me up to as some kind of a standard. If I was like them, I would be out of business. I want to repeat that. If I was like everyone else on the internet, I would be out of business. The reason
that's something we can agree on, Phil, because if it's not for these Kodak moments, you're damn right you'd be out of business because you're very boring. And here's the thing to do: the day you finally become self-aware, it will be the same day your business go out, and you'll also realize that there's nothing unique to you. There's nothing different to you. There's nothing that sets you apart. You're just an average streamer. Actually, not even average. You're a very below average streamer.
15 years later is because I'm different. People come and watch my content because I am different than everyone else. I didn't follow the trends. I didn't follow the viral ways to be popular. I didn't get that bag every moment that I could. I walked my own path, and I'm still here 15 years later. Please respect that. If you don't,
why should I respect that, Phil, when you don't respect people that are far more successful than you? Like, for example, Review Tech USA. He's a much more successful content creator, streamer. You don't listen to him, you have him banned. Keemstar, we know how about his past and how successful he is. He tried to help you. You banned him. Side Scroller podcast. Look at them, Phil. Look how successful they are. You know, I can't stand them now. Look how great they are, and you have pretty much them banned as well, Phil. It's just with you, it's just so pathetic.
then just don't stick around. Because I'm not going to sit here and give in to people who are very demanding and saying ridiculous things. You're treating the game unfairly. I've played it for 3 hours. We haven't even beaten the intro yet.
Because it took you forever with the intro. It should have been no more than 5 to 10 minutes to get past that part, Phil. You took forever because you kept looking at this object, that object, this object. There were some people in your chat saying, Phil, just move on. Don't worry about that part. It's just a tutorial. It's going to open up as soon as you get to the main story. That's the you kept bullshitting, Phil.
I haven't said a negative word about it. How am I treating the game unfairly? You sound like an asshole.
No, you're the asshole because you're not giving the game enough time. 3 hours is not enough. You should extend it another hour, that live stream, and then Tuesday, play it again. Wednesday, play it again so you have a better understanding. You did not do that, Phil.
What the hell are you talking about?
Oh, Lord. I tell you, some people just do not change. Anyways, that'll be it for this video, guys. Keep a close eye. I got a couple more in the pipeline, and I'll see you on the next one. Take it easy.